And tonight on the 10 o'clock news, Republican Nick Howland is celebrating victory in a special city council election over Democrat Tracy Polson. And here are the results coming out tonight. The pair first faced off in a four-way race back in December before today's runoff for an at-large Jacksonville City Council seat. Yeah, the seat was left vacant when Tommy Hazuri, who was a former city council president and former mayor of Jacksonville, when he passed back in September. News4JAX reporter Jim Pickett is at the election center on the north side, and later we'll be talking with our political analyst Rick Mullaney. Right now we head to News4JAX reporter Bree Isom, who spoke with both candidates tonight.
Yes, I did, and each candidate had their watch parties on separate sides of town. They were waiting around, waiting for those results. Howland's watch party was at Cole Haynes on the south side of town. Familiar faces like John Rutherford spoke before Howland was announced winner. Howland says he believes in a strong support for public safety, creating more jobs, and investing in every neighborhood in Jacksonville. What's the first thing that you want to do now that you're an at-large council member?
Well, immediately we're going to be faced with looking at the budget. So I want to help the sheriff figure out how he's going to keep our streets and our neighborhoods safe.
Polson's watch party was held at Bread and Board downtown. She says she was grateful for the people who did get out and vote.
The voters have spoken, and Team Polson did not prevail. I am so grateful for every person who voted for me. I'm so incredibly proud of the campaign that we ran.
Now, I talked to some voters today. They said a lot of the reason why they came out to vote was because of recycling and downtown development. I'm reporting live in Jacksonville. Bree Isom, Channel 4, the local station.
Yes. Thank you, Bree. And News4JAX reporter Jim Pickett was there at the election center as the votes were counted, and he tells us it went quickly without any problems.
And that does seem to be the case because there were no major problems here. What they're doing is wrapping up right now. They're bringing back all of the equipment and they're storing it properly and having all the ballots put in place in case there should be a recount. Again, the biggest surprise was that 20% turnout. It had been predicted to be much smaller at one point, but it really looks like the voters all came out in favor of Nick Howland. There were no big crowds at the voting sites, but people did show up throughout the day to make their vote count in this special election.
It's very important to have my voice registered.
It was super important. I mean, aside from the fact that Tommy was a friend, you know, I want to pick somebody that'll handle the job.
And as Supervisor of Elections Mike Hogan and other election staff watched once the polls closed, it just took a matter of minutes, 7 to be exact, for the first results to come in. From early and mail-in votes only, Democrat Tracy Polson had a slight lead, but when the Election Day votes started coming in, Republican Nick Howland took the lead and held it all night. It's not close enough for any type of recount. Does anything happen now?
No, at this point, we just have to, do all the cleanup work. We got provisionals, I think maybe about 100. We've got some still cures can be processed until Thursday. We've got some cleanup work, but we're not talking about thousands of ballots.
Hogan earlier predicted a 10 to 15% turnout. And even though it's low compared to other elections, he was happy the turnout was more than 20%. So they're glad that the last truck is coming in, but these workers, they're getting ready for that next election, which will be a primary in August. Jim Pickett, Channel 4, the local station.